That's Jim O'Rear's Wacky World.
So let me get this straight. In today's episode of Only in Florida, we've got AG James Uthmeier stepping up to the podium like he's auditioning for a reboot of Law and Order Constitutional Edition and announcing that he wants to defend the gun rights of non-dangerous felons. Yes, that famously simple, crystal clear category, non-dangerous felons. Because when I think of the legal system, I think of nuance, gray areas, and Florida trying to sort people into categories like it's a BuzzFeed quiz. Which felon are you? Take this quiz to find out if you qualify for a handgun and a second chance. Now, to be fair, Uthmeier's argument leans heavily on the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. You know, that little document Americans treat like it was handed down on stone tablets somewhere between Moses and the invention of beef jerky. And he's saying, essentially, hey, if someone isn't a threat, why are we treating them like one? Which, on paper, sounds reasonable. Until you remember this is Florida, where the phrase, not a threat, could describe a guy wrestling an alligator behind a Waffle House at 2 a.m. And now, we're supposed to trust the system to determine who's dangerous and who's just Florida dangerous. Because there is a difference. There's dangerous, and then there's once stole a lawn flamingo and somehow ended up with 3 mugshots and a documentary deal. Uthmeier even brought up a guy who got nailed for carrying a firearm without the proper permission slip, which I love that phrasing, because nothing says land of the free like needing a hall pass for your Glock. Excuse me, government, may I go to the bathroom and exercise my constitutional rights? But here's where it gets tricky. Under current Florida law, if you are a felon, you don't get to have a gun. Period. Full stop. End of story. Roll credits. Unless your rights have been restored, which is a process that moves at the speed of a DMV employee on their third coffee break. So now we've got this push to say, well, maybe not all felons are created equal. And again, that sounds nice. It really does. But I've watched enough true crime shows to know that every story starts with, he seemed like such a nice guy, and ends with a 6-part Netflix series and a neighbor saying he kept to himself. So now imagine adding firearms back into that mix like it's a downloadable expansion pack. And let's talk about enforcement. Because Uthmeier says they'll still go after wrongdoers. Well, great, fantastic. I love that energy. But who's making the call here? Is there a checklist? Let's see. Nonviolent offense? Check. Good attitude? Check. Doesn't yell at waiters? All right, give him a revolver and a firm handshake. Meanwhile, Florida residents are just trying to keep up. Like, wait, can my neighbor own a gun now, or is he still just emotionally unstable with a leaf blower? Look, I get the principle. Rights matter. The Constitution matters. And yes, not every person with a felony record is a walking disaster waiting to happen. But maybe, just maybe, this is one of those issues where we don't want the decision-making process to sound like a game show. Congratulations, you've been upgraded from felon to felon light. Please collect your firearm at the exit. Because nothing says peace of mind quite like knowing the line between dangerous and not dangerous is being debated in a legal brief, while Florida man is out there doing whatever Florida man does. And if history has taught us anything, it's that Florida man always finds a way to make things interesting. So thanks for watching. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this. And I will see you next time.
And reviewing John Claude like it's film folklore. He burglars, drums crashing, wacky world. What a haunting